Alright everybody, in this video I'm going to talk about more twists and turns that are being taken in this Sikh temple massacre that was perpetrated by multiple suspects and is being covered up. And also, I'm going to talk about how stories are starting to flip-flop now, and I don't even know if they have a clue that they're doing it, but we're going to call them on it. I'm going to call them on it. Okay. The first piece of news I have here looks like a Twitter. I followed the link, and looks like a Twitter post, and it says Sikh temple chairman says few suspicious men were seen on temple premises yesterday, and this was 5 days ago, which would have made it the day of the shooting. So the day before the shooting, there was suspicious men on the premises at the Sikh temple. Okay, so that's that. And what they're also saying now is that uh, the cameras weren't on. The surveillance cameras conveniently were not running that day. Now let me say that sentence over, because I've had a few commenters that can't seem to understand English. Suspiciously, conveniently, the surveillance cameras weren't on the day of the shooting. Very convenient. You know, the busiest time of the day for that temple, and where there are real worshippers. My little friend out there who thinks, why would I say supposed worshippers like they weren't worshippers? I was talking about multiple gunmen that whole video. Anyway, sorry folks. But the surveillance cameras weren't on in the busiest part of their Sunday at the temple. Very convenient. And I'm going to go over this again because it's being covered up. There was multiple shooters, and there's a plethora of witnesses that said this. And I'm going to show you this again, and then I'm going to also talk about something else that they're flip-flopping and twisting their stories now. The day the shooting happened, they said that the shooter, the lone shooter, as they're trying to make it out, they said he shot a police officer 9 times, and then he himself was shot, taken to the hospital, and was suspected to survive. Okay, so they've already said he was most likely going to survive, and was taken to the hospital and was going to survive. Okay, I mean, there's no way out of that one. He was taken to the hospital and was most likely going to survive. Now they're saying he turned the gun on himself and shot himself in the head. Now how can you get those two things mixed up? How can you think he's going to survive and on his way to the hospital with a bullet wound to the stomach, and then 5 days later say he turned a gun on himself and shot himself in the head? That's way off. Somebody making up the stories is tripping up over their feet big time. So let's go over these. Let's see what I got up next here. Someone's tripping over their feet big time. See, authorities look for clues into Sikh temple shooting. The FBI and local police are piecing together reasons why Army veteran Wade Michael Page, 40, killed 6 people, which he didn't. I don't believe he did. They killed him days before, and you know, because he fell off the face of the earth. If you watch my last video, you'll see where I showed this. But anyway, the whole point of this article is their surveillance camera wasn't on. There was no video in the temple itself. So there you go. I'll post this link in the description area. Now the cameras weren't on. So, you know, how convenient is that? I mean, come on, man. So here we go. I'm going to go over this multiple shooter thing again. And as my thing messes up here. So here we go again. Listen to this. Multiple shooters. And now we know the cameras weren't working for some reason, or weren't on.
Service every Sunday. It's around 10:30.
He said 4 males, plural, were dressed darkly. See, that's the other thing. They had the same kind of gear on that is being reported in the Aurora shooting, where there was also witnesses saying there was more than one suspect.
From what I'm told, about 20 to 25 people have been hit. My uncle.
Okay, so there's that one. A link will be in the description area if you want to listen to the whole thing. Let's go back over here. Okay. Okay, here's the other multiple shooter witness.
So, the most I can learn, or the most I know as of now, is that there are multiple shooters. There's multiple people. It was a very well coordinated thing. It wasn't
A very well coordinated thing.
hazard, and I think that's why police and everybody are taking the proper.
Okay. This is the same guy, but he's giving it in he tells it in a different way.
Did he tell you? Did he describe anything else that was going on at that moment? At that time, he did say that there are multiple shooters and that they are of Caucasian descent.
Okay. Once again, and here's another report with multiple shooters. No cameras on now, remember that.
Officials say he was taken to hospital and is expected to survive.
Now that was talking about the shooter, that he was taken to the hospital and expected to survive. How does it go from that to he shot himself in the head? There's no way. There's something up.
And is expected to survive. The veteran officer who exchanged fire with the gunman was hit several times. Police officials say he was taken to hospital and is expected to survive.
So he was taken to the hospital. Somebody checked him out in order to get this report out that he was expected to survive. Now they're saying he was shot in the head. Someone's getting their story mixed up big time.
Underneath, one of the wounded men said an unknown number of gunmen had walked into the kitchen of the Sikh.
Okay, so there you go again, and there's the another report of the multiple gunmen. One more time.
Into the kitchen of the Sikh temple and opened fire. The man who said his father had been wounded, an unknown number of gunmen had walked into the kitchen of the. Denise, one of the wounded men said an unknown number of gunmen had walked into the kitchen of the Sikh.
Okay, so there's that. And then here's the story about the Sikh temple gunman shot himself in the head, police say. He shot himself in the head and then killed himself. Okay, so something's not right here. There you go. I'll leave the links in the description area. Don't forget to visit my blog, reddawnpost.com, and check me out on Facebook at facebook.com/reddawnpost. Take care.